Okay, John Wick Chapter 4, this is how you do a franchise, right? Yes, I can say franchise because there's going to be some spin-offs. Get more to that later. Let's talk about John Wick Chapter 4. So unless you've been living on the rock the last couple of years, you realize that John Wick is one of the best, if not the best, hand-to-hand action movies of our generation. Keanu Reeves is back as John Wick. The money on his head has increased to an enormous amount of money, but this time he's not alone. People want to go against the high table just as much as he does. This leads to an interesting battle between time and money. What I gotta appreciate, and I think you'll appreciate too, is this movie never feels redundant, which is pretty freaking good because this is the fourth movie. And if you look back in history, most movies repeat itself once they get past two. This movie feels new and fresh. It's a 2-hour, 45-minute roller coaster, but it doesn't really come down too much where the action stops and you're kind of like waiting to get back to the action. It stops for a few moments, introduces a new character, then picks right back up where we left off. Now, what John Wick does very well is he's a man of action. He probably has 10, 15 lines in his movie at max. I think he did more talking in the first movie as this series progressed, but he can just say and look at you and like, you know what's going down. With that being said, you need a great supporting cast. And in this movie, you have a great supporting cast as well. Bill Skarsgård is the main villain or antagonist in this film, and I will say he's pretty much fantastic. He's the guy that everybody knows in their life that you just want to smack every time you see him because he's a total prick, but you can't because there's rules. John Wick 4 nails that because they know there are rules in place to separate us from the animals, and he's the perfect villain in this film because he knows the rules and how to manipulate them for his favor. I thought Donnie Yen's character was also fantastic. If you watch other Donnie Yen films, you know what I'm talking about, but in this movie, he's playing a blind assassin. Of course he is. It's Donnie Yen, and he pulls it off to perfection. Also, Shamir Anderson's character in here. He's a wild card. He's the new guy introduced in here, but he also has the dog. If you know about John Wick movies, you gotta have a dog. As for the action sequences, incredible is pretty much what sums it up. I mean, different characters have different fighting styles, which makes sense because this is a worldwide society underground, and of course, they're not gonna be teaching the same stunts and stuff like that. This movie executes that very well as you travel in different parts of the world. We've seen lots of hand-to-hand combat movies over the years, shootouts, things like that, but this movie kind of puts it on a different twist. It has this new element of surprise, action, angles, camera views, different things that we haven't seen before in any action movie. Also, with this 2-hour and 45-minute action film, they introduce new characters that actually are interesting, that you wouldn't mind seeing again. And that's very hard to do because, like I said, there's going to be spin-offs, there's going to be extras coming up, but this movie introduced them in a way that they feel important. So right now, this is where I usually give the negatives of a movie, but I can't really find one for John Wick Chapter 4. Honestly, I was racking my brain to try to come up with some negatives, but I can't. I think John Wick Chapter 4 is fantastic. So at the end of this movie, there is one end credit scene which will lead into other spin-offs. So for me, I give John Wick Chapter 4 a 10 out of 10. It's the best movie so far this year, not even close. So John Wick Chapter 4, have you seen it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And what's your favorite John Wick movie so far? I'd love to hear about it. And as always, have a great day.